left of the picture there, and she's got against her, well, a field which I don't think any of them will think will beat Tirunesh Dibaba today, but they'll be all looking for their own performances. Katrina Wooten going back to some very good form, Katrina, and ran very well in the 10,000 metre trial for the World Championships held last week in London. And Katrina, one of our great young talents a good few years ago, is really coming back into her own at the moment. Sophie Duarte of France, two very experienced French athletes here, former European cross-country champion, and then her teammate, a few years older, I won't quite say, well, let's just say she's in the Joe Pavey bracket, over 40. Christelle Dornay, European marathon champion from 20. Well, for Gemma Steele, it's been a difficult last couple of years, and looked at one point as though she really was having a burgeoning career on the roads and up to the marathon. Well, she's put the marathon to one side for the time being, and today we'll be taking on once more the great Tirunesh Dibaba, the defending champion here in Manchester. So good to see her here at any year, this year in particular. The stars coming out to support everybody else, and they know that they take second billing this morning or today. So just a few seconds late. So klaxons sound and away they go. The elite women's race gets underway, and they have the roads clear and big crowds expected. Well, we know, we can see them ourselves already out there. And
good morning.
I keep saying good morning. I'm going to have to apologise. It's now afternoon. I'm so used to being here in the morning. Anyway, good afternoon, Paula.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon, especially to the people out there waiting to support the runners around this course today, but also waiting to get started and to complete this event and to complete this run and to get on with what I think makes us all feel better each day, to show we're united, to show carry on, and just to show that life goes on and to show that spirit there as well. And straight away it's good to see Katrina Wooten showing a little bit of that fighting spirit in attempting to go with Tirunesh Dibaba, who I think is very much expected to run away with this race here today. But Katrina in very good shape, an old clubmate of mine from a long time ago back at Bedford and County, but raced very well at Highgate in the British 10-kilometre trial. Just missed the qualifying standard and just missed qualifying, but did qualify for the European Cup in Minsk, which I think is later this month. So she'll be hoping to improve on the time there, and probably won't be aiming to stay with Tirunesh Dibaba very long, but it's good to see as we look at the course here. Do you want to talk us through the course?
Yeah, it's the familiar route, and you know, hats off to everybody. We'll talk about more of this in the mass races, but it's been a massive logistical exercise to make sure the event goes ahead today. But it is the same route, one or two slight little changes around Old Trafford for the masses, but by and large that's where they know they've reached halfway, and then they turn back around the Salford Quays area there, Media City just across the way, and then when they come back onto Mancunian Way, they see all the runners going in the opposite direction. Lots of waves, of course, with 35,000 people. Then not everybody can be on the course at exactly the same time, but those roads become absolutely covered with runners for the duration of the afternoon. Finish here in Deansgate, where we did have the City Games. We saw Kim Collins at the start. Great to see him here supporting everybody today. So Friday was emotional. It was a great afternoon, and a lot of the elite athletes said how much they were delighted to be here, including Tirunesh Dibaba as well. More of the women's elite race shortly.
I'm going to hand over to someone.
Stand by.
Well, there is always a Corrie contingent at the Manchester Great Run, and we're on air, guys, any minute now. I mean, to be fair, everybody would want to be close to a gossip with the Corrie stars, wouldn't you? But if you don't mind, we'll just live on the
Sorry,
telly.
did you hear all that? Yeah.
You've got a race to run in a moment.
It
It has been an emotional week for everybody, and especially for you guys on the Coronation Street set. It was all a heartfelt reaction that you had to what we saw on Monday night, wasn't it, Kim?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, obviously we all went into work on Tuesday
and the place is normally so chipper and happy, and we all kind of greet each other with a, hey, and how was your weekend, everything.
Yes, we've got a bench going on Coronation Street, which will be dedicated to the 22 people who lost their lives. I mean, it's so important for us to do this because we're a Manchester programme, we're Manchester people, and we've been affected, just like everybody else here today.
There's a lot of people will know about Martin Hett, who was one of the 22 that died, a huge Coronation Street fan. And Bruno, he was a big fan of Deirdre Barlow.
He did. I actually met him one night out in town. He says, "You don't know me, my name's Martin," and he showed me his tattoo of Deirdre Barlow on his leg, and I didn't know what to say to him, but everyone who knew him and everyone that knows him knows that he's a lovely lad, and we'll all miss him. Bless him.
I think he was just one of the guys who everybody talked about having his life cut so short. He was a guy that took life to the fullest, and I know you guys, a lot of you are running for the Manchester Children's Hospice as well. You're doing it for Beechwood, aren't you, Sally? But the fact that there was so many children affected was the thing that was really helpful, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we were already running for the Children's Hospital anyway prior to what happened on Monday, but now we feel that it's even more of a reason for us to get behind the hospital. A lot of the sick children were actually taken there, and the care they've given has just been unbelievable. So we're really proud to be running for them today.
Yeah, it's great to see all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I know it gets competitive. Let's see if we can keep it. Let's keep it under wraps. Colson, great to see you too, buddy. Great to see you. Denise, over to you.
Sorry? My own special ones here. Tell me who you're running for.
We're running for a men today. This is my mum's first ever 10K, so we're really proud of her. So we are here to support her. So the cancer charity Amend is a really personal one to us, and we started doing the Manchester 10K about 4 years ago. So again, it's a really, really personal day, but the Amend charity is really close to our hearts.
So, Mum, you don't look like a mum. Are you feeling nervous?
Not yet. I think I will be very shortly when it starts. Yeah.
Well, Batman over there said you're a superhero.
Well, then I'll be all right. He'll help me out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, really. I've wanted to do it it's been a challenge, and with it being for Amend. So, I'm looking forward to it, really.
So it's about your own personal challenge, but also raising money for this fantastic charity.
Yes, definitely.
And they're going to spur you on, these super giants behind us.
We'll certainly try, yes, we will, yeah.
We'll try and keep up, if we can. If we can keep up, we will do.
Yeah, we might have to fly from time to time, yeah.
But I guess it's great to be part of this incredible atmosphere here today.
Oh, it's fantastic, always is, always fantastic.
Yeah, at the time that, of all that's happened here, but still the people are out, and, and you can feel the love of. Yeah, great. A great crowd, as ever, fantastic.
Well, enjoy.
Take care. Don't need to be greedy, all right?
Well, a great bunch of superheroes there. They're all superheroes today. And in terms of athletics, one of the greatest of all time, already out there in front. Three-time Olympic champion Tirunesh Dibaba of Ethiopia, already set out with real intent. Katrina Wooten stayed with her in the early stages, very brave, because first kilometre was 3:05, second kilometre we've just been told is 3:07. She's not far off her course record pace of 30:49, so she has really attacked this early on, Paula.
She has, and in fact she's up on her course record pace, because when she ran that course record she ran slower in the first half, so she's well up on that pace already. And if the wind hasn't changed since I went out for my run earlier on this morning, she's running into a headwind as well, which makes it even more impressive. Impressive too that Katrina Wooten tried to go with that, but she has quickly now settled back, and unfortunately that means for Katrina now she's going to be running on her own for the rest of this race pretty much, because she's well way ahead of the chasing pack behind her, currently being led by Christelle Donnet.
Well, that's the situation at the front of the elite women, elite men, and the masses will start shortly. Let's go back to the start with Louise.
Thank you so much, and it is an intense atmosphere as we stand here, and I just want to show you, I know you can see this shot on your television, but it is heart-stopping in some ways to look up this beautiful street and see so many thousands of people behind us, all wait vigil decision. When they wake up this morning, to come out, and less than a week after that horrific attack, to come out here onto the streets of Manchester. And it is really, it's a very, very poignant, and in different parts of this city as well, there are different things going on. Over in St Anne's Square, for example, there is quiet, there is contemplation, and there are still people in tears this morning as they go there to pay tribute to the victims. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. There is going to be a minute silent before every single race, every single wave in this race today. We're going to take that first minute silence, and we will stay with the runners as they do that. And then we're going to hear the words as well from Tony Walsh, the poet. He's reading a poem, it's called Do, and he'll read that for every single wave too. I'm going to leave you with 1 minute silence for the victims of that attack.
Thank you, Manchester. As we know, as we've shown the world, this is the place where we do something. Do something to show them what you're made of. Do something you've never done before. Do something to beat what you're afraid of. Do something to make your spirit soar. Do something to get your heartbeat pounding, pounding, pounding. Do something with all your heart and soul and rock and roll. Do something through sunshine and through rain. Do something to say we need to hate less. Do something through courage and through pain. Do something for someone that you care for. Do something to help out with the cost. Do something for someone that you're there for. Do something for someone that you've lost. Do something to tell someone you love them. Do something for someone who has gone. Do something for those with none above them. Do something for someone who lives on. Do something to stand out from the crowd, and do something to keep a dream alive. Do something to make a city proud, and do something to shout, hope will survive. Do something to show you don't surrender, we don't surrender. Do something for those we owe a debt. We thank you. Do something a city will remember. Do something the world will not forget. Do something for this great city's story. Do something and show them how it's done. Do something for love in all its glory. Do something the great Manchester. Do something for great Manchester. Do something the great Manchester run and make it live forever. Do something the great Manchester run. Choose love. Have a fantastic Manchester Day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Walsh, aka One Fell.
Well, inspiring words from Tony Walsh. Lots has been written and said this week about the resolve of the people of Manchester. But now it's their chance to show their unity and their determination to carry on. It will begin one step at a time, but they will move forward, and today they all move forward together, individually, but as one. It's all about the 35,000 taking part and the rest of the city hosting them, but they will also appreciate the elite athletes at the front. Here we go, the Great Manchester Run. Well, there'll be an outpouring of emotion, I'm sure, at the end for most of these people. And for the next 10 kilometres, though, it's a chance for them to reflect, and for everybody watching as well. But it's also, as I said, a chance to show what this city is about, show what it's made of, show what its people are about. And as we've been saying all morning, it's most respectful and remember all of those who suffered so tragically. And the city has been an inspiring place to be over the last 2 days or so. And of course, they're not all Mancunians. They've come from around the UK, and some have come from different parts of the world as well. Nobody wanted to miss this special day. And a special word should be given not only to those who organise the event, and of course it's been a week of a lot of hard work for people, but I think what everybody is saying, it's as ever, the emergency services who were challenged so much this week, but of course then also are a big part of a day like today, and so many thanks going to them from all of these people, and I'm sure people watching as well. But the event goes on as it has done over the last few years, an event which has grown with the city, and is an event which has always shown off the best of Manchester, but today more so than ever. Well, Paula, you said you were out running this morning, and running such a big part of often healing in a lot of people's lives, I think, but when we see big events like this, and you know, we always say it's a great sight, it's wonderful to see so many people out running. You and I, this was how we earned our living for so many years, but today, and I think in other occasions, we think of the Boston Marathon a couple of years ago. It is a way for people to show their love for the city and to show their respect, as I said earlier on, for all those who suffered.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think sport and running in particular demonstrates humanity in a way that will always come to the fore, and so many people will turn to running to celebrate happiness and to heal and to recover and to show that that spirit will go on and will fight on, and that humanity will always be stronger than inhumane acts and acts which try and defeat that human spirit. And people being able to come out today and celebrate that, be able to get out along the course if they're not taking part, and in their own way, in their own unique way, and each will be different, move on in a way that will always remember those people who suffered, but they will move on and be able to show that, as I say, human spirit will always win.
Where we will be, of course, male distance runner of all time, and she's going quick. That 15:40 through the 5K is exactly the time she went through when she actually set the record here, the record being 30:49. Now, she did speed up dramatically in the second part on that occasion. She started pretty quick today. Katrina Wooten went with her for the first kilometre or so, has dropped back now and is being chased by the group, which has Dornay and Duarte, the two French athletes, Gemma Steele in there as well, Emma Mitchell from Ireland. But Dibaba has the streets all to herself. Katrina Wooten a little bit lonely in second place, and she'll have to watch for those chasing. They're about 20 seconds behind Katrina at the moment.
Yeah, she may be able to rally as they come by and catch her, but for Tirunesh Dibaba, she's looking very, very strong. It's only, 5-6 weeks since that incredible run of hers in the London Marathon, where she pretty much ran herself to complete exhaustion, was in a lot of difficulty in the closing mile of that race, and yet she's bouncing back now, and we've just been told that's a 6th kilometre in 3:02. So she's picking up, as she did when she set the course record, is bringing it home faster, and is showing that she has recovered fully almost from that London Marathon and is ready to build on that and begin her track campaign with earnest.
Well, she is shifting along at the moment. That is one of the quicker kilometres, and as you said, she has a little look behind. There's nothing to see. She'll be seeing the elite men going in the opposite direction. That might have been what she saw, actually. Well, not quite yet. She had a little glance at the shower. Not quite a day for the showers. It's actually perfect. I think Ore mentioned earlier on, we have nice temperatures for racing and a little bit of a breeze. It was quite windy in Manchester, particularly yesterday, but that's settled down, thankfully. So Tirunesh Dibaba, very much, as Paula was saying, off the back of London Marathon, moving, the marathon is where her sights are these days. However, she's still a real talent to be reckoned with on the roads as well, over 10 kilometres. So anything under 31 minutes is very good, obviously, and I don't think she's going to be too far away from that, Paula. That record of 30:49, it would be really something if she were to achieve that, but as I said, 31 minutes probably more likely.
Yeah, I mean, when she ran that, she came back in a 15:09, second 5 kilometres, and I mean, she's not far off that if she's throwing in 3:02s, but to be able to maintain that through the next 4 kilometres is off. It is pretty much a lone run. It's pretty much like a training run for her from this point in, although she will have a lot of support, but it's hard to keep pushing and to keep pushing hard, when you're bouncing back from a 2:17 marathon that she ran a couple of weeks ago, but also when you have the race won and your real focus is on building for the season ahead. This is cutting back to Christelle Dornay of France, the European marathon champion from 2014, who has Katrina Wooten in her sights there, and hopefully as she catches Katrina can rally a little bit. Been run since 2010, so she came very late to the fore in her career, but maintaining that form.
Well, this is the front of the men's race. Didn't really get the chance to talk about the elite runners, but that's Dathan Ritzenheim, the very good American. Bernard Lagat, you can see just in the group there. Collis Birmingham, the tall figure from Australia. Andy Vernon is at the back of that group. And then Wilson Kipsang, the winner of London Marathon in the past, won Tokyo Marathon earlier on this year. Won't be contesting the World Championships, actually. And I think that's Stephen McCoker in there as well. So that kilometre, the second one was 2:50. They went 2:46 for the first one, 2:50. So they're not hanging around. And Ritzenheim obviously deciding the good policy for him today is to get out there and lead this.
Well, it's pretty much the way that Dathan Ritzenheim runs most of his races, is to really gut it out, to get out there, to go to the front. He, I guess, as a runner, really does kind of personify that Manchester fighting spirit we were talking about. He lays it all on the line, and into pretty strong headwind, he is pushing hard in this race and dragging the others with him.
Well, early stages of the men's race, Tirunesh Dibaba heading down the dual carriageway in the opposite direction. But for now, we're just going to pop back to the start again with Louise.
Yes, thank you very much, Steve. I'm here with an outgoing Lord Mayor, Carl Austin Beam, who's very, very famous around these parts, and also incoming now the new Mayor of Greater Manchester, for joining us. I think I'll start with you, Andy, if I could. It is quite an extraordinary day, Andy Burnham, to be here in Manchester, isn't it?
It's an extraordinary day to be here. This is the spirit of Manchester that you can feel coming through the people. They're sending a message, aren't they, to the terrorists, to the extremists. You're not going to beat us. You're not going to change who we are. You're not going to change what we do, and we're going to move forward from here together. It's been obviously an exceptionally difficult week for everybody, but what Greater Manchester is saying, this place will get through it, and we'll go forward together.
Carl, you're very, very fond of this city.
I am, yeah. I mean, this is the 15th year of the actual run for Manchester, for the Great Manchester Run. It just brings the crowds out, but also the amount of different charities. And originally, I was running for the We Love Manchester Lord Mayor's charity, and Andy was running for the homeless charity that he'd set up. And it just seemed more poignant for everyone to come together and to raise money for the emergency fund, the We Love Manchester Emergency Fund, with the Red Cross, and also with the Manchester News and all the different organisations. I mean, up to yesterday, I think it was something like £5.7 million that was raised. I mean, everyone's got their own reasons for running here today, but I just think this was really important that people of Manchester, and there were so many people came to me, said they were running it as a fun run, but now they've wanted to do it and they've sort of raising money as well, so it's just really, really important. That's what brings the city together.
And I've been in both parts of the city today. In some ways, there are two very different things going on, because still at St Anne's Square, for example, is still a place for moments of quiet as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So people are obviously move on again, and we need to start talking about how do we go forward from here, how do we work together to tackle the extremism that there is in our society, but do it in a way that's true to Manchester, which is about not letting people divide us, and we've got to hold on to the spirit that we've had here this week.
And what's striking as well is everybody behind us, and look at the thousands of people there, will have made their own individual decisions about why they want to be here.
I know, and I think they're making a point of being here. And last night, the Cortinas, I was there. Young people came there and made a statement that they wanted to be there. They are saying that you're not going to change us, and that is such a powerful message to send out this weekend.
It's an amazing atmosphere. Run. What are you expecting of it today?
I just think, the time-wise, I'm expecting about 52, 55, but that's only because I said that originally, and that's what Andy originally agreed with.
Now I'm going to say you can hear a heavy cold, and I'm getting the politician's excuse in first here.
I cannot believe this, that I'm hearing this.
Yeah, but you can. You've interviewed. How many politicians have you interviewed over the years? You know what we. Anyway, I'll give it my best.
Enjoy. And there are tears at the end of this race, and we're hoping for smiles today as well in some ways.
I think there'll be a mixture, won't there? I think emotions will come out, but that's a good thing as well, isn't it? People should just let their emotions come out a little bit.
And also, this is the first time for many, many people. I mean, there's a lot of people in the city that have been here since Tuesday morning, waking up to everything. This is the first time that a lot of people have come to the city since Monday night to show the defiance, and also to sort of see what it's about, and that's what's really important, the fact that everyone has come together and we are united. A lot of people have come to the city since Monday night to show the defiance, and also to sort of see what it's about, and that's what's really important, the fact that everyone has come together and we are united.
I can't speak to you anymore because I know you've got a race to run.
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed. Very good luck to you both. I'm going to go back to JJ, who is out there in the crowds with so many different people here. JJ.
I'm with some of the guys from Charlton Runners. Now, you're obviously local to this, but this must be a particularly important occasion for you today.
Yes, absolutely. I think this week's events just really cut home, really. So we've all decided to wear these bee patches in solidarity. We're here today, we're doing what we love, we're going to carry on with life as normal, and it's just really important to us today. We're going to run proud.
Absolutely. And will you be running together or going for personal times?
We might start off together. I'm not sure how we'll finish, to be honest. We'll give it yeah.
And there really is a particularly special sort of energy around here today, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, yeah. I think just with all the emotions and everything, do this week, like you say, because we're all local and it all means so much to us, I think it's going to be an emotional day as well.
And I feel like you've really come together. I take it there was no part of you that thought about not coming today?
Not at all, no. Not at all, no. We're all here in solidarity to sort of give out a message to everybody. Can't let things like this stop you living your normal life. You just can't allow it.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck today, guys. Hopefully you all finish together, but I'm sure you'll be cheering each other.
But Andy Vernon has dropped off, rather sadly. Andy, who'll be running in Hengelo in a couple of weeks' time, at the 10,000 metre qualifying time for the World Championships. So they're approaching halfway, the men. But in the women's race, it's all about Tirunesh Dibaba, and she's been getting quicker towards the end. We said she'd be aiming at around 31 minutes. She's going to be very close to that. She's into the last kilometre now, and it won't be long before, certainly where she is, she'll be able to see the railway bridge, which we are on the opposite side of on Deansgate. And that's about 200 metres to go. So it won't be long before she'll be able to see that. And it's been another display from Tirunesh Dibaba, Paula. Strong as ever. She's clicking along at about 3.5 per kilometre at the moment, going really well.
Yeah, we said that she might feel a little bit like she's on a training run. She looks a little bit like she's on a training run. She doesn't look as though she's anywhere close to maximum effort. If you contrast her style and her expression even with the closing stages of that London Marathon, when she was really struggling and pushing her body on with every stride, it's very, very different. And she's obviously recovered very well from that and has put on a pretty much textbook display of how to bounce back from that and get your legs turning over at a quicker speed in preparation for the track season. And it's important to her, I think, to tick this off and to move on from here, to come here and support Manchester as well. But she will be now aiming for that finish line, and she will have had a time in mind that she would want to shoot close to, but I think the biggest thing was just to get out and just to feel that her legs were responding well.
Very quickly, this is Christelle Dornay, who's now past Katrina Wooten after that very fast start from Wooten. She's paying for that a little bit because Dornay has moved in to second place. She's a long way behind Tirunesh Dibaba, who now, as I said, is coming under the railway bridges, and the crowd here, I can see them all moving to the barriers to cheer Tirunesh Dibaba. She's become a familiar sight here in Manchester, and they are so pleased that she's here along with everybody else, of course. So Tirunesh Dibaba sprinting home, as she always manages to do, still looking pretty fresh. She wins the Great Manchester 10K just outside 31 minutes. As Paulo was saying, maybe no more than a hard training run, but by anyone else's standards, that's world-class racing. So a little smile from Tirunesh Dibaba. Another superb performance from her. 31:03 the winning time, acknowledging the crowd. There's some friends in the crowd as well. She's become a great friend of Manchester, and I'm sure she wouldn't want to have missed this race at all today. Particularly in the closing mile or two.
She's also an Arsenal fan, so she will have been happy watching yesterday, and maybe that gave her a little bit of an extra boost today. So a quick look back at the men's race, and it's still Dathan Ritzenheim pushing on hard here. Collis Birmingham in the centre there, the taller figure in the blue and pink, was pushing it on a little bit with Dathan earlier, but now it's Stephen Makoka, South African multiple champion over multiple distances, who also knows these Manchester streets very, very well, who's keeping the pace very honest and moving along strongly in that 250 range. They were for the first 4 kilometres, now picked up with a 249 and a 246. They went through halfway in 14:07, so a respectable pace, and Bernard Lagat hanging in there, have to come bouncing back from his pacemaking duties in the Breaking 2 bid in Monza 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, Makoka then on one side of the road, it's a bit like a horse race, isn't it, where they split to either side, looking for the good ground. It's all the same on the roads. And there's Christelle Dornay coming through for second place, the 42-year-old from France, the European, I guess she's still the defending champion, because the European Championships, I don't know, we had some in 2016, I forget, they're every 2 years now. Christelle Dornay applauding the crowd, a great gesture from the French woman, and of course France themselves have had so many terrorist atrocities to deal with. I remember Nice, of course, the Diamond League had to follow on from there. So many of the athletes were aware of that atrocity on that particular occasion, and Dornay applauding the home crowd. Katrina Wooten as well. Duarte coming across the line in fourth. It's a tough race for Katrina out there, having had a real go with Tirunesh Dibaba. And here's Gemma Steele. Well, he'd be excused for thinking Tirunesh had not been out for a hard run this morning. Looks very relaxed. But to be fair, she always looks that way, you know, all the way through her track career, and even now when she's running the marathon. Very hard to tell when she's tired. Well, this is really warming up in the men's race now. Ritzenheim, Makoka, Bernard Lagat, the great 1500-meter runner, who's now enjoying racing on the roads in the latter part of his career and enjoying the longer distances, doesn't have to worry about the speed and the kick. But I tell you what, if he's still hanging around towards the end there, he'll be looking to use that. So Makoka aware of that, trying to push on. Hadn't been running that well this winter, Stephen Makoka, but he ran a pretty good 12K race back in South Africa just recently, 34:43, which is much better than the performances he'd had up to that. So if that last race just showing he has been coming back into form. Ritzenheim recently won the American 25k championships, a bit of an odd distance that, but a little bit more than half marathon, and his exploits over the marathon have been really disappointing recently. He was a non-finisher in the American trials last year, and I think in New York as well. He didn't finish there in October, so he's had a difficult year or so.
Yeah, Dathan's one of those athletes who's really struggled, shown huge potential, and is probably the perfect half marathon runner, and he's really struggled to move up to the marathon distance. Suffered a lot with cramping, with getting his career with early success in the World Junior Cross Country Championships. Back in 2001 he was on the podium there, which for an American junior coming through was a huge breakthrough. And he's really built on that through his career, but never quite been able to reflect that on the world stage at World Championship and Olympic level. And I think he shows when he races in events like this really how much he is prepared to fight, and how that cross-country manner of racing, of judging your effort and racing those around you and racing the course rather than racing the clock is important.
Well, he's trying to break that group up there. Lagat looks very comfortable. He's been having a little look around. He's been watching the athletes going in the opposite direction and looking relaxed. And I think the other two are aware of that. Makoka had a little bit of a push. Now Ritzenheim really wanting to go here. And to me, it's Lagat is the one looking most comfortable at this stage.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, if you told you coming into a 10k, you'd do a workout of 3 by 5k in between 14.7 and 14.10, you think that was a pretty good workout, wouldn't you? He did that pace in the breaking too. But he did say there that he would push on hard against Kipchoge in the closing stages and make him race to the line and really help him as much as possible as he could there. And he was viewing it as good training. He was already talking about coming here and wanting to race and perform well here. And I think it's a little bit of an enjoyment. Well, it's always been enjoyment for Bernard Lagat, but it's an enjoyment year for him in terms that he can pick those events that really mean something to him and go there and race and enjoy doing that. And he's very much doing that here today, but the guys around him will be very aware that he's sitting in the middle there, and he is by far the quickest finisher of the three.
So Ritzenheim trying to push on. Lagat looking comfortable. Makoka under a little bit of pressure at this moment. Makoka finished second last year. Lagat was third. Stephen Sambu won the race. But it could be Ritzenheim this year. Will they finish second and third to somebody else? Or will Lagat get a victory here? Kipsang fourth, and then Collis Birmingham fifth. Well, meanwhile, back at the different waves, as you are probably well aware, going off. So many people taking part in over a 10k, you have to do that. This is a special wave. This is Manchester University wave. Around 2,000 people taking part, students and staff from the university. We'll be hearing more of that a little bit later on, but they're just about ready to go. But in the meantime, let's find out who JJ's got with him.
Right, we're with Andrew, or should I say Leonardo. Now, you've done this before, but you've never done it in costume.
No, first time in costume this year.
And do you reckon you'll be keeping that mask on the whole way around?
Maybe. Probably about half the way round.
That'll be success for you if you manage to get round with it on.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And what about the day so far? How powerful has it been?
It's been nice, it's been good. Went to the memorial over at St Anne's and it's touching, sad. But no, it's been good today.
You thought about not coming today?
No, definitely. Got to be done.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck, Leonardo, or Cheers. Andrew. And I hope to see you with that on at the end, all right?
Thanks a lot. Take care, mate.
Well, there's been a little bit of a break now. Makoka, as we suspected, was the first to fall off that group of three. Kipsang went first, then Makoka, and Ritzenheim is really applying the pressure here. He knows the danger that Bernard Lagat possesses in terms of his kick ability, even though Bernard's, you know, in the, shall we say, the twilight of his track career, if he still manages to run on the track. But Lagat there, just hovering, isn't he? He's working hard, but he knows every step it's moving into his territory, because when they get into the last 200 metres, I'll be surprised if Ritzenheim can break him, but he's trying his best here.
Yeah, I mean, Dathan Ritzenheim isn't any slouch. It's just that Bernard Lagat is very, very fast. But at the end of a 10 kilometres, it's a little bit different, certainly on the road, to finishing a 1,500 metres or 5,000 metres on the track. So Dathan working as hard as he can. He sees the 9-kilometre marker there, so he knows he's got less than 3 minutes of running now to just try everything that he can, throw everything that he can at Bernard Lagat to try and shake him off and just get a little bit of daylight, because if he's still sitting on his shoulder or moving alongside him as he's threatening to do now, coming into the straight here on Deansgate, then Dathan's in trouble.
But when you've run as fast 1500, the mile, 5,000 metres, he's world champion at 1500 and 5,000 in the past, Olympic silver medalist at 1500 metres, and showing though that, you know, all 1500 metre runners are endurance athletes. He would never have taken the best on over 10,000 metres on the track, but on the roads at this sort of pace he's definitely competitive. And Ritzenheim there, you can see that last kilometre, what he can't do is like break a 240 or something here. It's always been around the 245 to 250, so that, you know, that's not really a change of pace. So Lagat is hanging on, definitely hanging on, but now he knows he's getting close to finish. Mokoka looks very tired now. I don't think he's going to be caught by Kipsang though. Well, it could be Birmingham who catches him though. Kipsang not going so well, but Collis Birmingham rallying in the latter stages and got Mokoka in his sights. So the tall Australian, who hasn't raced all that much in 2017, is chasing down for third. But look at this. Well, Lagat can't hang on. Ritzenheim's done what he's been trying to do for the last 2 kilometres. He's broken him.
And that's reward for time. If you'd looked at their expression on their faces, and he's not got this one yet, Lagat is still fighting hard, but the look of determination on the face of Dathan Ritzenheim is totally different to that on the face of Bernard Lagat. He was working hard, but you just couldn't see it reflected in his face. See on Dathan Ritzenheim how much this means to him. I mean, he's had a turbulent last couple of weeks for Dathan Ritzenheim. He's had a lot of things going on back in the US, so he's probably happy to come here and to let his feet and legs do the...
Ritzenheim of the USA, he hasn't had an awful lot to cheer in the last 12 months or so, but he had a big win in the American Road Championships, and here he's come to Manchester on this emotional day. And what a win it is going to be for him. He keeps checking behind because he's expecting Lagat to charge, but he's not going to do that. It's going to be the American who comes home to win the Great Manchester 10K. Dathan Ritzenheim is this year's champion. 28.06 the winning time. Great performance from him. A good front-running performance from Ritzenheim. Lagat takes second place, one better than he finished last year. And he thought he was going to be able to hang on for the kick, but he couldn't. Mokoka just hangs on for third, ahead of Collis Birmingham, and then the great marathon champion Wilson Kipsang taking 5th place. Last kilometre was 250, I'm being told, which it's slightly uphill. Andy Vernon just crossing the line there, like 30 seconds behind the winner, but that meant a lot, I think, to Dathan Ritzenheim, Paula. I know you would have enjoyed that. Person at the front, running hard, getting rid of the kicker.
Yeah, we're just looking at him there, just showing Brendan Foster how much it means to him to come here. I think he's raced here a couple of times, Dathan, but he's not actually won here before. And so to be able to come here to start his summer campaign, but he has been racing very well on the roads so far in the States this year already, but to celebrate that with a victory over a tough field. I mean, he beat him well by making it a race to his strengths here today and running strongly out there and really pushing and taking the race to him, and being able to come away with a victory means a huge amount to Dathan Ritzenheim.
Steve Scullion just crossing the line there from Ireland, and well, now we see the better of the club athletes coming through, still under 30 minutes, so some really good performances here, 1 or 2 PBs, I'm sure.
Dathan Ritzenheim of the United States has come through here in Manchester, and he's clearly absolutely delighted to win this year's 10K.
Well, it was hard for Ritzenheim. He knew what he had to do, and you always have to admire a distance runner who applies himself in such a way over the last couple of kilometres, trying to get rid of the big kicker, trying to get rid of one of the best in terms of kicking, Bernard Lagat. And Ritzenheim, look how much it means to him today. Big victory for him. Something for him to cheer about what's been a difficult period for him. A rather tired Bernard Lagat coming in second place. So let's just tidy it up. All of the results today. Earlier on we had 2 wheelchair races. Simon Lawson was a very good winner in the men's race, 21.53 from Brett Crossley and Anthony Gott. In the women's race, personal best for Lizzie Tench, 33.11, ahead of Liz McTurnan. Personal best for her as well in second place, and young Catherine Stott was third. So we saw Tirunesh Dibaba with an emphatic win by over 2 minutes from Christelle Dornier, 31.03, world-class running once more from the Ethiopian. 42-year-old Dornier will be delighted to have finished second. Katrina Wooten went